So the first day fishing up from the Insta launch, these were my fish catchers. Brown with chrome and a red lip, and then a pink. And this one has some purple lines on it, but the other one's just solid pink with again with a chrome stripe on it. Both of them had a chrome stripe, just a plain old silver lip on the pink. So those were the ones that caught the fish. So the first day afternoon into the evening, fishing up from the Insta launch, these were the plugs that did not catch any fish for me. I ran a rainbow trout. I ran this one a lot with brown and blue. That one's caught me some fish with a red lip. Cop car's caught me a lot of fish in the past, and that didn't get a bump. Blue pirate, blue chrome with a red lip, that has caught me a lot of fish in a lot of different places. That did not get a bump either. And orange with brown also did not catch a fish. So I ran these pretty good, gave them a good look. They didn't catch any fish. So the water was pretty stained that day at the Insta launch. So I'm fishing with the baits that worked real well, were these ones with these great big lips, and got a lot of wobble on there and a lot of action in that kind of stained water. Take a look here. So day 2 in the morning, got started pretty early. Went all the way up to Tippy Dam, now fishing right at the dam, launched at the dam, started pulling plugs back from there. Got one bite on this little guy here, and this is one of my peewees. Very small bait, well, not a very small bait, but has a very small profile when it swims in the water. I'll show you in a second. I also painted this a bluebird. I saw a bluebird in my backyard, and I thought that was a good natural color. The reason I developed these was for fishing shallower water, maybe pressured water, where we kind of need a little more subtle approach. So I've got kind of muted colors on this, not as much chrome, and it really paid off because that caught the biggest fish of the trip. And I'll show you some footage of that fish. It actually buried the scale at 16 pounds, so it was a high teens steelhead. So there's the action on that. I haven't adjusted this since we caught that fish, so that's the action I'm getting there. Just a real quick, tight wobble. This bait probably dives. It still gets down there pretty good. It probably dives 4 to 6 feet, which I think was great at the Tippy Dam. You had all these breaks where the water went from maybe 2 feet and then it dropped right off to 7 or 8 feet. And so as these plugs came over that drop off, having that bait dive a little bit helped out a lot. So much tighter than any of the usual typical steelhead plugs. Notice I kind of designed this so that it gets a good wobble at even a slow speed, but it's a real tight kind of subtle wobble there, even more so than a Hottentot. Hottentot's got pretty tight wobble, and this one has wobble even tighter than that. Oh, that is a big fish. Yeah. I think maybe our hopes of landing him in this beautiful oasis are dwindling. Unless he starts coming back up the river. Yeah. Oh, is he coming back up? He's coming back up. Yeah, I think we're gonna go get this dude, Mike. I'm afraid if you get him down there a little bit farther like that, you know, well, he's gonna go cut right, and then, well, if we can get him here, this will be perfect. But Yeah, he's just such a big fish to pull him up the river. You know, even just his weight alone trying to pull him up this river is going to be a little tough. You think you could give him a little more drag, or are you pushing on him, pulling on him pretty good? Yeah, we don't want to lose him since this is why we're here, but oh, there's some progress. He's swimming right at us.
You got the video going?
I got the video, absolutely, man. Are you kidding? We're gonna get some footage of this. Why not? I finished my apple. We'll get some footage.
That's your apple, this one. There he is.
Yep. I think I got some shots of him when he was rolling around on the top back there, moving all that water. I think if we get him in, that's going to be a beast, Mike. Yeah, that's a beast, man. Oh, yep. That was a nice fish.
Okay.
Yep, are we about ready? Nope. We're ready to get some more footage of him.
There he is.
All right, yep, he's getting close now. I think we're ready. So then day 2 in the afternoon, we were fishing up at Tippy Dam, and even though we caught that giant fish, there were just so many people coming in there fishing as the morning wore on. We went ahead and got out of there, and we went down to High Bridge, and we fished from High Bridge. We put in at the High Bridge launch and fished up probably about a mile and a half, worked our way back down. Never made it quite back down to the High Bridge launch, but worked maybe a half mile, 3/4 of a mile, fished for about 2 hours and just killed the fish. I think when the river is at the gauge height that I showed you at the beginning of the video, High Bridge is a perfect place. You know, the water clarity was just about right for fishing plugs. And so the brown was the hot lure by far. I ran all kinds of different colors at the beginning, and they didn't touch anything except the brown baits. And all the brown baits had this red lip on the bottom, but this brown chrome with the red lip was the ticket. And we caught a lot of fish then at High Bridge. I'll post it. I'll go ahead and look back and think about it, and I'll post how many there were. We caught a lot of fish that time at High Bridge. And again, we had a little bit of both this time. I had the deeper diving one, which I've already shown you, and then I also had the shallower one, because what we were doing is we were fishing the flats. It was a really crowded day on the river, and everybody was kind of fishing the bends and the holes. And so what we did is we just pulled plugs down the flats. So between the bends or between the holes, we just put the plugs out and work our way back down those flats, and picked up a lot of fish. So I also had a shallower version that worked really well that afternoon. So if there's one thing that I've learned fishing on the Manistee River, I've been up there and I fished it 3 days. In all 3 days when I was pulling plugs, the first time mid-November, the first time was mid-December, and the second time I went up there was mid-November, and both times this brown bait with a red lip was red hot. That was what we caught most of the fish on both times. Different kinds of water conditions. One, we were, when we fished in November, the water was higher and dirtier. When we were fishing in December, the river was really low and clear, and it didn't matter. This brown plug with the red lip was really the ticket both of those times.